Welcome to the show. We have a guest. Her name is
Chelsea.
Chelsea. Welcome, Chelsea. And Chelsea's Instagram is UrFavCreoleChic, and it's spelled your FAV Creole Chick.
That's
And
me.
she has a food truck, and it's called Your Fave Creole Kitchen, and also another business that is in the tax realm. So, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank y'all for having me.
Okay, tell us a little about yourself.
Well, I'm Chelsea, and I am a food truck owner and now a restaurant owner. And I started my food truck from working my tax business. So I've been in the business for a while, just kind of doing my thing. And I really love being an entrepreneur.
When did you first quit your job?
When I what?
First quit your job.
In 2015, I was working for a large hospital here in Houston, and I was there for about a year, and I just realized being there, I started taking steps to be a business owner because I was really unhappy with the job. And in 2015 is when I first started my first business, and I actually had a tax business that was out of state. So I opened my first business not in Houston, which was a big mistake because, of course, this is my home city. This is where my foundation is. So I kind of felt like going outside of Houston, I was going to have kind of like a fresh slate, be able to, really market and stuff like that. And I think that's why my marketing is so aggressive, because I did have to kind of like go out there and just kind of like, be noticed and be, let them know I'm here, to take over. So I was in Gulfport, Mississippi for about 2 years.
Okay. Why did you decide to have you were here, but then you had something in Gulfport, Mississippi? Did somebody convince you to start a business out there, or what happened?
Well, I went down there because in Biloxi they have casinos and stuff. So I just kind of went down there just to kind of enjoy myself, and I like the vibe. And as I'm very business minded, so I always think about the possibilities. And I saw that the market was pretty much like not there. I didn't see very many tax offices. So I said, you know what, this is a untouched market. Like maybe I can come out here with my savvy, Houston city ways and just kind of take over, things. When you go to smaller cities, you can upcharge for stuff, and all this came to my mind. So I'm like, I can charge these people an arm and a leg,
Whoa.
and just kind of go out there and just, get involved. And it worked. It did. But then I realized how hard it was once I opened my second business, which was my food truck, to commute back and forth on top of having children. So that's kind of what made me kind of take a step back and say, okay, well, this is working, but maybe I should come back home. And then that's how Supreme came about in 2016.
Okay. Nice.
Supreme Tax.
All right.
Right.
So,
Okay.
well, you obviously were doing taxes before that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Was that like a family business or a big corporation, or how'd you learn how to do taxes?
I learned how through a franchise here in Houston, and I was just kind of like working with them seasonal from time to time, not really in office. I would go in here and there, so I was familiar with it. I just hadn't pursued my own, but I knew how much money a tax business could make because of the experiences that I had with these other clients.
Gotcha.
So I knew that it was something that could be highly profitable for me if I just, opened up my own business, which is why I went that way first. A lot of people are opening tax businesses in Houston now. They're like everywhere because they're very profitable and you make a lot of money in a short amount of time. So I knew if I got this business open, I can take that same money and reinvest and get, what I really, really wanted. And that was my food truck. That's my passion, my baby. So,
Y'all open year round?
Yes.
The taxes? Because I know a lot of them close like after a couple of months.
I'm open year round.
That's cool.
So how long have you had the food truck?
For 3 years.
Okay, cool.
3 years.
Cajun Creole food?
Yeah.
I'm assuming, yeah? Okay. Who cooks? You?
This girl,
Okay.
I cook.
You cook all the food?
Yep.
Awesome.
I won't allow anybody else to cook because I'm really focused on the consistency of the food. And being that this will be the first year that my restaurant is open, I'm gonna be the head cook, and hopefully, in due time, people will be able to kind of, stick with it. But I've seen a lot of restaurants fail because they just don't have any consistency.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that's going to cause a problem later? That you want to be the cook all the time?
It
Yeah.
sounds like Mario
Mm-hmm.
doing his rehabs himself.
Because Mario, for the longest, he still does
Yeah.
most all the work.
Little stuff.
Yeah.
Little stuff.
I'm going to give you some advice. My rule number one is try to get away from that as quickly as you can.
Right.
So.
Because sometimes when you have a business, you're just a high-paid employee.
See, what,
You know what I'm saying?
Really?
I'm
Yeah.
gonna disagree with both of them because I feel like if you could do it yourself, why not do it yourself? She's saving out on the cook. She's hands-on.
Because she has kids. She has other things that she needs to do besides labor-intensive job. How much is your time worth?
A lot.
You know?
The thing
That's
about
true.
it is, I do want to get into other markets though. Like I want to get into real estate investing and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I do. My plan is to step away and let it run itself
Okay.
because you just cannot do everything.
What,
You
what,
can't.
what are your hours like? Like what time you wake up and then what time you go to sleep? Like, and then you got 3 kids, so
So I really had to kind of like really, really, really get good with managing my time. And I'm really proud that I'm able to manage my time the way that I do because it's not an easy thing to do. So every day I'm up at 6 a.m. and I'm preparing myself
That's not
for
early.
my day.
Huh?
It's not that
No,
bad.
he said, man, like it was real early. It's not that early, man.
Nah,
It's
That's
not
early.
that
Go ahead. I'm
early.
sorry, I'm going to cut you
But
off.
at 6 a.m., I get up every day, and I have, like, a routine. I know by this time, I need to be up. By this time, I need to be doing this. By this time, I need to be out the door. I have my day, like, already planned out before I even step foot. And I'm really conscious about time. Because if not, I wouldn't be able to get anything done.
Wow.
Nothing.
I mean, well, 2 of your kids are in school though, right? 2 of your kids, so, and then the other one is like he's a newborn.
He has a nanny, so he's
Okay.
18 months actually. So he's starting to get really active, but he has a nanny, so he stays at home.
Oh, that's dope.
What's your background, whether it's school experience or work experience? What's your background in, I guess, the taxes and as far as running your own business or mentorship?
Mostly, just it's
Every-
really like the hustler in me. Really,
Oh.
I don't have a mentor at this time. I
Uh-huh.
have a few friends that are
Yeah.
business owners.
So you never had a mentor like starting off, like nobody ever was like, I got a food truck.
Don't get too far
You
away
never
from
asked
the
no
mic.
you never asked like anybody no questions. It was just like spontaneous.
Well, for the tax business, I actually signed up with a franchise. So
Okay.
they kind
Wow.
of, yeah, so my
Cool.
first business was a franchise. And that's another reason why I went out
Did you
of
buy
state.
into the franchise?
Yes.
Oh, okay, cool. That's something very interesting to me is like, do I start my own business from the ground up, make all the mistakes, or do I go follow the protocol? But
Right.
then they're taking a hit of the
Pay.
yeah, they take a percentage off the top.
Right.
So, is that
So-
working out pretty good with the franchise?
So, in my opinion,
Yeah.
I didn't have anybody. A lot of people in Houston, they don't want to tell you.
oh,
you
for
know.
real? So you
Hold
reached out to people and people was like move around.
Okay.
I mean, they're just very selective about what they tell you.
Oh,
They're not
okay.
going to tell you from start to finish, this is what you need to do. They're going to hide something or they're going to act like it's just so hard to do, So to prevent that, I just kind of paid my way into the
Oh,
business,
okay.
Okay.
which is why I went through a franchise.
Is it a small fee? Like when I say small, I'm talking about like 30,000 or below.
Yeah.
Okay, good. That's not bad because if you try to buy, let's say you try to buy a restaurant, you're looking at $500,000. You're looking at 700,000, and if you're looking at McDonald's, you're looking at like $1.2 million.
Right.
So
Right. So my franchise fee that I paid, I made that back within 3 weeks.
Oh, that's dope.
see,
Wow.
that's how you do it.
So it worked out.
ROI, return on investment.
Exactly.
There you
So
go.
it worked out, and I ended up making a profit, and I used that money to invest in my food truck.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is-
The first year that I pursued my actual food truck, I got burned really bad.
So you was at a negative.
What happened?
Takes,
I kind of broke even,
Oh, you
but
broke- that's not bad.
my investment I lost on, but I ended up breaking even with the actual tax business. I thought that my money was going to keep going, but once I invested in the first food truck, I went to a guy that I saw he had a sign on Craigslist that says he builds food trucks. And I actually like went to him and designed my truck, put all the equipment in it. He
Yeah.
gave me a price, and I was like, do it and have it done by this date. And he actually like never gave me anything.
You paid him?
Yes, I
Whoa.
paid him in full.
Really?
Whoa.
Ooh.
I paid him in full.
Rule number one.
Cash.
I
Nah,
paid-
yeah.
Cash.
No, I actually didn't. I gave him cashier's checks.
Oh.
So
So
I mean,
Same-
kind of the
same thing,
same
right?
thing.
Same
the
thing,
only
right?
thing
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
I had a record, like a receipt on
Yeah.
my end that I did pay him this month.
So how did you dispute that, or could you?
I couldn't.
Wow.
Did you get his real information, or he just kind of?
No, I had his ID. I had his business entity. I had everything. But what he did was he filed bankruptcy.
Oh, okay.
And he sent me a letter, and he had did that to 64 people.
Wow, man, that's
So
a new
we
hustle right
we
there.
were all in bankruptcy court, like screaming and yelling.
And he's just counting his dollar bills.
But they ended up denying his bankruptcy, and they ended up like pursuing him criminally
Yeah,
as
yeah.
well. So, but yeah,
You're just
that.
waiting on that.
Nah, I mean, but
You're not waiting on that.
No.
You're just like,
Yeah, it's not coming.
I feel you. Just like you got to move on,
Yeah,
and you.
Okay.
That's true. That's a lesson. Like everybody's gotten burned once, right?
right,
And you actually, that's a lesson in
Yeah.
learning about money and trust. You
Exactly.
know, next time you'll probably maybe put down smaller deposit,
half.
or be like, hey, maybe get references.
Well, next time
References.
I bought an already built food truck
Exactly.
that I could touch and see.
That's
And
exactly.
then
See
I
if the-
just switched
you
out
can see if
equipment
the
and
process even work. You can test it out,
Yeah.
right? You can be like, you know, I only spent 30,000 on this truck, and then a used truck,
Right.
and then it worked. You know, the process works.
Right.
Where you see a lot of people, they'll just come out of the blocks, buy $100,000 truck,
Exactly.
and then their business, you'd be like, it's a lot harder than what I thought it was.
Exactly.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
So-
So I did get a chance to kind of get my truck, which is the truck that is all over my social media, and
Which is a nice truck, by the way.
thank you, and it worked out. So
Yeah.
now I'm in the process of I have the restaurant, and once the restaurant gets itself going, I plan on selling the food truck I have and buying a newer one because I feel like I've been in the game. I'm a vet. I need bells and whistles and TVs
Yeah.
on the outside and all the cool stuff that come with food trucks. Since the first
Wow.
time I had to just kind of
You gotta speak
know.
But why wouldn't you just buy another food truck and have two food trucks?
that's what I'm thinking. The thing about
She want to cook the food.
I think, are
You
you in
can.
love with the idea of having a restaurant, or are you seeing that you can just make more money from the restaurant?
So, food truck is not easy. Like, it's really not. It's a hard business to get into. It's a lot of work. It's hot. I mean, the work conditions are just extreme.
Oh, really?
So, I felt like it would be much more. And then when you're dealing with anything with moving parts, you got to anticipate things breaking. You got to anticipate, the engine going out. I've literally went through everything possible with
Yeah.
this truck. Like, I tell everybody, get a trailer. Don't get a food truck. Get a trailer that you can pull, because if I can't start my truck up, I can't make money. Versus if you have a trailer, you can hook it up to anybody's truck and pull it where it needs to go.
Wow.
So I've literally replaced everything under my hood,
Dang.
equipment. I mean, when I tell you that it's just not, it's when you have all these moving parts going
Yeah.
on, things tend
Literally.
to break.
Mm-hmm.
You got to replace shocks, tires. I mean, everything. So in my mind, I feel like the restaurant situation will probably be better
Yeah.
for me because I can pull up and get to work instead of having to pull up, drive out,
Well,
you know.
What were you thinking when she said she had, like, when you say you have a food truck? I think low overhead.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about, yeah, you do have, I think you have less moving parts than if you had an actual store, right? What were you thinking?
I look at other
Like taco
Food truck?
trucks.
I look at other businesses and I
Yeah.
think, okay, well, if 5 of them are doing this, then it works.
Yeah.
So like you take, for instance, Bernie's Bus. They have their bus and they have
You can move the location
Bernie's
too.
Burger Bus.
Yeah, go ahead.
And they
Yeah.
also have a couple brick and mortar stores like restaurants.
Mm-hmm.
So, you get the name out there, and I'm just guessing because I'm not in that business. I don't. Restaurant business is hard.
Yeah.
You get your name out there now. Everybody's looking for this food truck. So either A, you get other food trucks, or B, you get a location where they can come to you during these hours. So I think, to be honest with you, most of the guys that do that do both. They have a location and the food trucks.
Absolutely, yeah.
I plan on keeping one food truck. My thing is right now, since
Stretched
I'm in
out.
the business, I know a lot of food truck owners, and the business is getting really saturated because people think that it's easy to do because they see so many people doing it, and it's starting to get it's
Yeah.
overwhelming.
Competition, yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I mean, when it's time for me to renew my medallions in my health department, my health city,
Yeah.
it's the line is literally like wrapped around the
Yep.
building. I'm like, well, what is the best day to come? Because every time I come, this line is wrapped. It's because there's so many people that
Yeah.
are getting into the business. So, you know,
Is it pretty profitable for you?
yeah,
Okay.
it is. It's a
Okay.
good business to be in, you
Okay.
know. But with it, when you ride around now, you see a food truck on every corner.
Yeah,
Whether
yeah.
it be a taco truck, a barbecue man, you know, seafood truck, boudin, whatever. They're everywhere. You know, and so in my mind, I feel like, okay, I've kind of did this. I see it works. I see people love my food. I'm gonna open up a restaurant here. And my plan is to continue to open up restaurants in places that don't have this type of food. So I want to go to the East Coast and kind of, you know, just kind of spread myself around and eventually have a restaurant chain.
You seem like this is what fearless about. Like most people, what stops them is fear of failure. You kind of like you don't have that fear. I think you just kind of broken through that. You know, what gave you that? Is that like do you have like a lot of other achievements under your belt? Was it like you know,
She had
or
a
is it-
kid.
huh? She had a kid. Well, I mean, a lot of
Once
people
you have
have
a kid, you
kids.
do anything.
Well, yeah. What
I feel
is
like-
that just your personality?
That I'm
Yeah.
I've always been this way. I don't.
Pretty outgoing. You've
I
never.
just, if I say I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. I put my all into it. I'm very, very, you know, passionate about
That's
anything
good.
that I do. So I think that's just my personality.
That's
I don't,
good.
I don't see any limitations. I feel like if it's something that I want to do, I'm gonna do it. My dad tells me all the time, like, I love that about you. Like, you just
Most people
go
talk.
for it.
Most
Yeah.
people talk. 80% of people just talk, and the other 20% get stuff done.
Remember I
So-
said it in the old podcast last year
What's that?
or 2 years ago?
What was that?
That when I was a kid, my dad would tell me if once he puts his mind that that's what he's gonna do,
Yeah.
no matter what you do, you can't stop him from doing it. And I think those things bleed over into adulthood, where it's like you figure out. I mean, even what I was telling you guys about the new business, I was like, that's what I'm gonna do, and I did it.
I think it's so easy for you to do now because you have so much experience. You're like, oh, I already know
That's
about
true.
accounting. I already know about
That's
marketing.
true.
I already know. That's why I always say you need to have wins under your belts in life. Like I know smart people, but then they, you know, a lot of people they won't do something because they've never done it before. You know,
Yeah.
so I think when you have those small wins when you're a child or even as an adult, you open a business, it starts to run. You're like, oh, that's not too bad. I can do this in a different area of my life. You know, so. That's good. I think, you know, even if you're having kids, you just need to put them in a lot of different things, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Give them wins.
Yeah, for sure.
So, like, with your children, like, would you be mad if they had a 9 to 5, or would you want them to be an entrepreneur like you?
No, I feel like they have the option to be whatever they want to be.
There you go.
When I was growing up, my parents really, really like pushed college on me a lot because, you know, they felt like you can't be successful unless you have a degree.
Yeah.
And they still feel like that. Like my siblings, they all have degrees. My sister, she's in school right now to be an accountant at Tech. You know, it's just been like pushed or instilled in us that you have to go to college. And I'm the only one that has my own business. So I feel like you can be successful either way, whether you want to have a career or you want to have a business. I plan on, like, sometimes my son, he's 9, he'll say, like, you know, what if I started a business doing this? Like, one time he said a really good idea. I was like, I'm ready to do that right now. But, you know, when they come up with these ideas and stuff, and I just want to be able to help them and support them if they want to get things together. But if they decide that they want to be a nurse, a doctor, a lawyer,
exactly.
a janitor, whatever, you know, I'm going to support whatever decision that they make because school is not for everybody, just like running a business is not for everybody. Everybody feels like, oh, I want to be my own boss. This is not for everybody.
It's not for the faint of heart.
It's not
Nope.
because things slow down, things speed up. They can be going good at 1 second. 1 minute they're not good. One time it is good. You have to know that everything, it's going to be a lot of ups and downs constantly.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have consistency all the time. And things go wrong. You're going to run out of this. Something's gonna break. A pipe is gonna burst. Your car gonna stop running.
Yeah.
You have to be, and that's another thing. I've trained myself to prepare for the worst.
Exactly. Exactly.
Because on the food truck, you'll pull up to an event and everything is wrong. You're out of propane, the water's not working, you forgot a box of fish, you forgot, and it's like you have to know how to problem solve fast.
Yeah.
You cannot dwell on anything because you got to keep moving, because the longer you, like you just said, time is valuable. The longer you sit and dwell on it, the worse this situation is going to get. You got to keep moving.
Exactly. That's good.
I believe it. I've been saying it.
So you graduated from college or you didn't?
No.
I went, but no, not.
Oh, that's cool. What side of town you from?
From the north side.
Oh, for real?
Nobody believes that when I tell them that. They're like,
for
you
real?
from the north? Yes.
Oh, that's cool. Like,
I was in the highs.
Like where though? Like Acres Home?
No, my dad is from City Gas, and my grandparents and my mom are from Lakewood. So I'm more like 610 Wayside.
Oh, like in the middle? Okay, that's cool. What high school you went to?
I went to Atascocita High School, but
Oh, for
middle school and elementary school, I went to school on this side of town. So that's why I know a lot of people too,
Oh,
because
that's cool.
I was very spread out.
That's all over the map. It's
Yeah.
all over H-Town.
I lived on the north, and my mom drove me to the south side to school every day.
So what happened with that the incident when you had that class?
Well, let's talk about what she was doing, because I think it was a really good idea that got cut short. So you started to teach a food truck class,
Yes.
right? Where you teach people how the ins and outs of the food business, which is cool because I think that's another stream of revenue that could come in, because like you said, there's a lot of people that the food truck business is booming, it's growing. So I heard I heard myself talking like this dude a couple of days ago, and I was talking about when my barber is doing the wholesaling, and I was like, he needs to get a mentor. I was like, he don't know what he's doing yet. So this is what that is a mentor in the food truck business.
But
Exactly.
what made you do that? Because essentially, like your students are gonna be your competition. So it's like
I don't have competition.
Exactly. There's the abundance theory. See, some people, it's that way you look at things, abundance theory, that there's enough for us all.
I don't have competition. I really believe that I'm in my own lane when it comes down to my food, because I do have, for the food truck, you guys asked me who was my mentor. I do have a mentor for my food truck, and his name is Desmond Lee. He has Kid Creole. We do the same type of food, but he has always coached me. Whenever I call him and said everything's going wrong, how do I fix it? He's like, oh, this is all you need to do, and it will work itself out. So he helped me get my food truck together. So I've always wanted to be that person for someone else, because he didn't have to do that. Yeah. But he helped me get to my food truck open. So I knew how many people were trying to get into the business, and I said, you know what, this can be another stream of income. Instead of me, because people come up to the truck and they're like, yeah, I want to open up a truck. Can you give me a couple of pointers and details? And I'm like, right now is not the time. So I said, you know what, I'm going to do, people DM me. I'm like, I'm going to do this at one time. Everybody show up at the same time. We're going to knock this out at one time. So that's why I plan to do it, because I really, really wanted to have everybody meet up at once, because I can't tell you all by 5 different times and 10 different times the same thing.
So the very first class you have, how many people signed up?
22.
Ain't that crazy?
That's a lot. That's a lot.
I think you could have got a lot. You said you were charging, I don't know if you want to say.
I was charging $150 a session.
Yeah.
So the entire session was $450. Which
I mean,
for 3 classes.
I think you could have. I think it's
That
good.
was the first one.
No, that's what I'm saying. I think because you were doing it, that's the first time. If you'd done that 5 times, you could probably get charged $500 class.
Oh, definitely. I did it that low because I wanted to do my marketing and my videography and just get it really cranked up, get my marketing stuff together, have a full class. I wanted it to be affordable because I
Okay.
had a plan,
Okay,
to,
good.
to get to that point,
Yeah, yeah,
where you
yeah.
were. But yeah, I had a pamphlet made. I had all the content and everything printed out for that class, and then an incident came up,
Ooh,
which is what he
drama.
kind of mentioned, where I had a girl kind of misunderstand that it was a 3-session class and not a 1-session class. And she, as soon as I announced the class, she was like, it was on Easter. She was like blowing my phone up. She was emailing, calling. She was excited. She was like, I really want to do this class. And I said, okay, well, call me after Easter because I'm trying to do my little family thing.
Mm-hmm.
So she kept on calling, so I finally sent her an invoice, and she paid for the class. Well, something happened with her, and she wanted to move her money that she paid to a different session, which I don't feel like that's right because some people would just come to the last session. They'll
Yeah.
try to figure out, because I was making like
Yeah. First session,
the
second.
class.
Yeah.
I was telling them what we were covering in each class. So
Yeah.
I felt like, she's going to try to come to the last class because maybe that's the information she thinks that she needs.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I can't do that, but I can, when I do the first session again, maybe you can come in for a one-on-one, or you can, catch us when we come back to one, because I planned on doing the 3 sessions, regularly.
Yeah.
Well, she felt like I was trying to rip her off, apparently. She called the bank and tried to dispute it, and my bank ended up calling me on 3-way with her to explain what was going on. I had invoices, emails, phone call records, all of that, so they didn't give her the money back for the class because the class had not occurred yet. So she couldn't say that I didn't let her come to the class.
Yeah.
So she ended up getting on social media and going on a rant about how I was messing over people and I was misleading and I was lying, and she went as far as to say that she was gonna like bring a camera phone to the class and record the whole class and post it on YouTube because I won't be making any more money off this class and stuff like that. So I don't even follow her on social media. One of my followers, ended up sending it to me and was like, I think this person is talking about you. And I ended up watching it, and indeed she was. So I ended up canceling the whole class because I just felt like I was genuinely trying to help people kickstart their businesses. And she turned that positive into a negative.
Yeah.
And it just was too overwhelming for me. So I just said that,
How
maybe.
could have we avoided? I think you should have just gave her money back and said, "All right, peace out. Don't, just I wouldn't even dispute it. I'm like, hey, get your money back. Just
Right.
adios." But what you think?
I thought that was a good idea. I
What?
mean,
What?
the whole idea about the training.
No,
the
I
class,
like
yeah.
the class, but I would have gave her money back because the people like that, I don't want those people.
Right.
I don't want trouble. Bye. I even had
I
really
would've
good
gave her-
business deals, and I let them
Yep.
go because I was like, you know what? If you want it that bad, you can have it.
I would have gave her money back and said, "You're more than welcome to still attend the class."
Nah.
About
No,
4
she's
months
trouble.
ago.
Some
You got
people
20
are trouble.
You
Some
got
people are
22
trouble.
people in there paying.
I would have just
What?
I would have just.
Oh, I would have. I would have still
Yeah.
had the class.
Yeah,
No, I thought you were
well,
trying to say
at
have
that
her
point-
in the
at
class.
that point, I started
No.
thinking about all the what ifs.
Getting sued.
Yeah,
And I was
yeah,
just
yeah.
like, I just
Yeah.
cannot believe how nasty people can be. And it's funny because
No,
about
you're gonna.
4 months ago, and you're right. You're
Yeah.
gonna have those kind of people.
They're called
I-
haters.
It's a
They're called
percentage
haters.
though. Look
I
at them
was
as a
like-
percentage.
They're called haters.
No,
Yeah.
look at them as percentage because there's not going to be 100% of people that are going to be happy with your service. Like I'm a physical therapist, I'm a chiropractor too, and it's always going to be like it hurts my heart if somebody's not happy
know,
with me.
that's me.
But and I'm like, well, I try. You start thinking, but some people are never satisfied.
Yeah.
There's people that will sit there and I'm gonna just call it out there. There's people that probably follow you, right? And they say, "Hey, this guy says he knows all this about real estate and blah 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 blah," and maybe he don't. Well, I'll be the first to tell you, he probably don't know everything about it. He's
Yeah.
not the I can tell you each and every little thing. He can tell you a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
And he's successful. He doesn't
Yeah.
have a job. It's what he does full time. So obviously it's paying the bills.
Yeah.
But you're always gonna have somebody to say, well, you ain't all that. Somebody might go to her food truck and say, well, food ain't all that.
Yeah.
But they still follow her and they still
Right.
go everywhere she goes.
And they still
Yeah.
come back too.
Right.
Exactly.
Because the food was
So-
good. So that's everywhere. That's across the board. I just think
Yeah.
that was a good idea. You might want to do it again.
Yeah, I probably will. But this time, I don't know. I don't know if I might just do one class and just one fee instead of the session thing. I don't know. I just felt like I needed to reconfigure some things and come back
Yeah.
bigger and better, later. But at that time, it was overwhelming. I had a lot of stuff going on. So I'm like, I don't have time for the negative stuff right now. I'm trying to help y'all.
Yeah.
And,
You gotta have thick, even in the business world, you just gotta have thick skin about a lot of stuff. Like, you got a lot of followers. I'm sure when you post something, you're gonna get that one or two people that say something negative, and it's gonna eat at you. So a lot of times, you just gotta, you gotta
Learn
either
how to-
delete them or delete them out of your life, or
Do you
let them glow, block them, or you just let it fly. You know what I'm saying?
Do you look at all the comments? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, most of them are positive, but it just takes one person.
Right.
You got
to say
30 good
something.
comments,
All
and you
I
got
do,
one.
I just delete it. I'm
Yeah,
like, whatever.
That's what you got to do
Yeah.
because you got to delete the negative.
Like she got a
they'll
lot
eat
of
at you.
comments. Like I'm
Yeah.
just everything's on social media. Like you go through, look, there'll be like 180 something comments on a picture. There's some that don't have a whole lot, but that's
Yeah.
crazy.
No,
I'm not that famous on social media.
nah, I ain't either, man. I'm late to the game. I don't even know, the first way to start it there.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyways,
Mario's got a lot of followers too. I didn't realize you had that many followers.
I didn't either. I was like, well, I thought you. He's like, no, that was YouTube. Let me ask you another question about so you said you wanted to go from food truck to actual store, actual restaurant. Don't you think that's going to be a lot of moving parts in the store? Like, to me, like controlling your employees isn't. I mean, a restaurant is like one of the hardest things you can actually do. I think.
Yeah.
They say people that run restaurants are the most employable people because they know how to do a lot of different things.
Yeah.
They can work with employees. Go ahead.
He's not trying to discourage you. Cause
No, I'm
I
not.
know.
I'm definitely not.
I can't
yeah.
be discouraged.
No, you already halfway there with the food truck. Yeah, I'm just. To me,
Good attitude.
everybody would want to have a restaurant, their own restaurant.
Right.
The thing is, I look at it and I start looking at all these moving parts.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, this is complicated.
Yeah.
You're dealing with teenagers,
It
people.
is very complicated, and like you said,
Yeah.
employees and hiring, that is hard. Like just finding good help is really hard.
I saw the turnaround. It was like 3 months or for like these young people that come in and then they got school and then
Yep.
they got.
You
You
got to
know-
worry about all these different schedules and stuff. So what I have done in my restaurant is my only job
Yeah.
is to be the chef.
Where's it located? Like
Right off of 288 and OST. And that was another thing. I kind of handed off. I feel like I'm in a really good location. I'm more a medical center.
Yeah.
So I'll be able to, like when my food truck is there, I have people come from the VA like all the time. They're like going to their appointments and stuff. They pass through. It's right by the freeway. They
Yeah.
can literally turn off, hit the freeway, jump back on, and head home. So people that are in the medical center, they come and then they see that Creole food, and it's not really that many people over there that do that type
Yeah,
of food in
yeah.
that area. So I parked my food truck there for about 4 months, 4 or 5 months. And it was booming. It was rocking. I mean, people were coming, from high and low,
Yeah,
north
yeah.
side, south side, and we stay open late. So I have designated jobs for everybody. My only job is to be the head chef. So I have a inventory specialist. I have a head general manager. I have a head cashier. And then I have a did I say restaurant manager?
Not yet.
No.
Okay, well I just said it. And then
Yeah.
a kitchen manager. So my job is to solely oversee the people that are prepping and cooking with me so that I can train them up correctly.
Yeah.
So that when I'm not there, they'll know exactly what they're doing. At first with my food truck, I was doing everything. Accounting, marketing, budgeting, shopping. inventory specialist, everything. I was doing everything.
I think in the beginning you had to develop a system, just even know how to do it. You know, when I started my business, I was like doing everything at one time because
And
I
it's
didn't trust
stressful.
anybody, and then I figured that you got to learn how to
You have to.
delegate and you got to make processes so that other people can follow it. And if somebody quits, then you can just put somebody in there really
Right.
quickly.
So with my food truck, I've established those trusted people because they've been with me for so long, and now they're moving up and they're making more money because they're getting higher positions. And then some things just will not make it to me. It won't. Like their job is to, make sure that these issues do not even make it to my front door, so that I can focus on this.
Ain't that beautiful?
It's beautiful. I think it is. I don't know yet.
When problems get handled before it even come to you.
Yeah.
Right.
Thank you.
Exactly.
I don't want to hear about it. I want to deal with it.
Right. You the head cashier. If somebody can't make it in today, you need to be calling other people to get them here. I don't need to be stressed about your cashiers not being here.
That's right.
If a package comes late or a delivery comes late, inventory specialist, you need to get on the computer and figure out what it is we need to do, or you need to jump in your car and hit the restaurant depot, and you need to get the stuff we need to make it through the day. So these type of positions are supposed to make it easier for me to do what I need to do, and that's cook. My job is to cook, because if I'm not cooking, nobody making money. So that's kind of the idea there, and I think that it's gonna work. I've like I said, I've kind of been able to test systems and figure out what works and what doesn't work. So I really think that this way is gonna work, and if not, we can alter it, change it. My mentor that had the food truck, he actually has a restaurant now.
Oh, nice.
So we talk, and he tells me about his little mishaps and how he bumped his head and stuff like that. So I kind of have some good people that are in position that can kind of help me. And then when you're like a black-owned food truck or a black-owned restaurant, everybody tends to gravitate towards each other. Like, we all know each other. We all can call each other and say, how's it going over there? Or, yeah, I heard about you. When are you going to be open? It's really, it seems like it's a big industry, but it's really small, So we kind of support each other, and the people that are actually in the business, if we need little hints and, clues about stuff, I help anybody. Anybody could call me, and I'm willing to help them, because that's just the type of person that I am. I've helped so many people get food trucks and stuff off the ground. So we try to stay close and help one another, in this business.
What about other investments? You talked about maybe doing real estate. Anything else that you want to do as far as increasing your passive income or anything like that?
So my initial plan was to be a real estate agent, and I went to Champions to do that. And then I realized, here I go again, adding more jobs to my plate.
Exactly.
Why not just do what I really want to do, which is real estate investing, and just
There you
hire
go.
my real estate.
Yeah.
I had to figure it out, but I just will hire my real estate agent to do the paperwork and stuff for me, because if I'm trying to invest, do the paperwork and all of this stuff, I'm adding more to my plate. So I plan on getting into real estate investment once, things kind of, even themselves out. So
you should get your broker license. In a couple of years, and then you have like all these realtors under you.
Oh my goodness, no. Not unless you're passionate about. I think, man, that's something. If you're like, if you're passionate, about
that was
it.
my original plan.
Oh, okay.
And then I had to kind of reevaluate. Like, okay, you got a lot going on.
You seem like you really like cooking.
I do.
And you know what you doing.
I really like the fact that people
and taxes.
Yeah.
I do. I like helping people. And then I like to see people's reactions when they eat my food, and they're like, this is so good. And then, like, I can touch people without physically touching them. Like, I can leave my impression on people without having to physically touch them. They're like, I remember that truck, or I remember. And it's like I said earlier, it's crazy to me, because people are like, I've had your food. And I'm like, you have when? They were like, yeah, I've had it a few times. My favorite is this. And I'm like, oh, they not lying. They telling me what's on my menu. But it's still today, and I've been open for 3.5 years. It's like, it's crazy for me to see these reactions, and I really, really enjoy it.
Okay.
Well, keep pushing it then.
Exactly.
Keep going,
So how much? Just round numbers. You don't have to tell me how much you put into it, but just round numbers. How much would it cost to get your own food truck, and how much would it cost to start a like actual restaurant?
Stay tuned for my class. It'll be next
Man.
month.
Oh,
There
No,
you go. There
I'm
you
just
go.
playing. These
Nah.
are some of the comparisons
Yeah,
that I
yeah,
had in my
yeah.
pamphlet. So
around. I mean, because I know it's not an exact number. It depends on what area you're in. If you're in the Galleria,
Right.
Yeah, it's like
and it depends on the type of development and stuff like that. So
exactly.
I would say food truck. Anybody coming into the business, you have to decide whether you want an actual food truck or a trailer. Trailers are cheaper.
Uh huh.
Food trucks are for the culture because most people.
Gotcha.
It's weird. It's
Yeah.
weird, but most people see food truck as the actual truck. Like they don't. It's getting to the point to where they're seeing the trailers and stuff, but
Mm-hmm.
the actual food truck culture is mostly the actual truck with the motor and everything in
Yeah.
it, you know. But those are much more expensive because you're actually buying a vehicle
Yeah.
that runs. Trailers are cheaper because they're trailers and you're buying the equipment basically. But you have to estimate your truck costs, how you're gonna move this trailer around. You have to have a good driver because I can't drive a trailer. I be watching them trying to whip in a parking
Yeah, that's what I was
spots. I'm
thinking
like,
about. Yeah.
Nah, but I can drive that food truck. People like, who drives your food truck? I do.
Exactly.
Because I can. Y'all, it'd probably be funny if y'all saw me, but I be driving that truck. So
What about the? Okay, so
so
cost.
right.
Yeah.
So with
Low end,
I would
high
say
end.
I would
Low
say
end, high
for
end.
trailer low end between 5, high end
5,000.
5,000. You
Just
can-
for the trailer. Okay, we're talking about a trailer, not a
trailer.
not a truck.
it can go up to 20,000, but you can get a
Okay.
trailer with just a standard trailer for about 5 to 6,000.
What about a truck? Low end, high end.
I would say truck low end. You don't want to go below 20,000.
Yeah, you buying
High
somebody
end.
else's problem, probably. Yeah. Go ahead.
High end, I would say it could go crazy.
100.
100.
Oh,
100.
Easy.
Yeah, it
150,
can
yeah.
go crazy. It just
Yeah.
depends on how much equipment and what you're cooking and stuff
Yeah.
like that. But what people don't anticipate with food trucks is all of that equipment throws off heat. So it's hot. Food trucks, they are hot.
So you might need a good AC back
That's
there or
why I
something.
dress how I
Yeah.
dress on there because it's hot on there.
I saw
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why everybody
I used
goes
to
to
go
get
in
the
there with
food.
sports bras on and
Yeah.
shorts and stuff because it is hot. It's
Yeah.
burning hot. In the winter, it's hot
Wow.
In the winter it's hot too?
all the
winter?
time because you have
You
fryers
said-
going.
yeah.
You have
Yeah.
ovens and flat grills and steam tables. It's hot. I have literally
As hot as
burned
it is in here.
No.
No.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
So it's hot in there, but I would say restaurant it can go crazy too.
It's got to be a lot of money.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah, we were.
And then it depends too if it was an existing restaurant, if there's equipment still available, if they have walk-in coolers and freezers in place. I mean, it can get ridiculous.
I had the opportunity to buy into a restaurant, and it just didn't make sense in my
Like a
opinion.
big percentage or like half?
About half. There's 3 ways, and
Three.
I didn't like the guys that were pitching the
doing it.
idea.
Yeah.
It didn't make sense with those guys.
What type of food was it?
It was like a burger joint. It's a well-known burger joint too.
Oh,
And, yeah.
franchise?
No, it's like a individually owned restaurant.
Oh, you
The
gonna
guy
buy
got,
it? You
the
gonna,
guy got in trouble or something.
Oh,
and
yeah.
needed some.
I think it's a good idea. I'm not gonna say it's a good idea if you don't know what you're doing to buy something existing.
It was cool, just
Yeah.
not with these guys.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
got to know what
Right.
you're doing, man.
Yeah.
So my mentor, I kind of watched him go through it. He bought a completely new space in a strip center, and he had to do the bathrooms. He had to.
That's what I'm thinking. If something's already built up, well, all you got to do is the bathroom's already there. All you got to do is replace the toilet.
Updates. Yeah.
You
updates.
gotta-
pretty much just
Yeah, update it exactly.
Yeah, like cosmetic work. I mean,
Yeah, that's why
make it into your own.
Exactly.
And that's with this restaurant that I have. That's basically what I had to do. I purchased my equipment, but it was already an existing restaurant, so the
Good.
coolers and freezers were in place. I purchased the equipment that I need to do what I need to do, and then of course paint the walls, the flooring, the furniture, the stuff like that. That I had to add on my own to make it my
Yeah.
own. But my investment was a lot less than my mentor's investment because he had to do everything.
Yeah,
I mean, he had to do sheetrocking. He had to do all kind of stuff.
You got to be more creative too, and certain things have to be in this area because it's easier to reach over here, and
The layout.
So yeah, the layout,
where you want everything.
Yeah, somebody already thought about all that. Which, if you
So my first restaurant is on a smaller scope. I'm actually not in a gas station, but I'm connected.
Oh, okay.
So I'm more like a come get it and go.
I've
It's
seen
not
places like that.
Yeah, it's not like it's kind of like if a Burger King or a McDonald's would be connected to a gas station. It's kind of like a convenience thing when you come to get your gas, get you a burger, and go. So I don't have hostess that are seating people.
Okay.
I do have a seating option, and I am doing frozen daiquiris. So if people want to come and sit and look out the window while traffic is dying down and stuff like that, they have that option. But it's not like a Papados or turkey leg.
That to me sounds like less risk.
Yeah, it'll get there.
I'm kind of like a step up from food truck.
Yeah.
But that's the goal. Is that the goal, to get to the big restaurant style?
Yeah, eventually.
It'll get there.
I mean, return on
It
investment.
just
People always
depends.
think that those big restaurants are making all that money. They also lose a lot of money quick. Like this whole coronavirus thing is like, is this gonna shut down Houston? Because Houston is all about
moving around.
It's a service economy.
Yep.
We got oil and gas. That's kind of going down a little bit, but it's just service economy. We serving each other. We like to eat. We were like fattest city one year, right? Because we have a lot of restaurants. But you think this whole Corona thing is gonna just die off? Probably.
When football season starts.
Huh?
You're not worried about it?
My thoughts on it is,
You're not worried
don't let little things like this squash your plans.
I think that it's gonna come and go. Honestly.
And that's what I was telling. I was naming all of them: H1N1, SARS, Ebola 2014. They all come and then they go.
Yeah.
And it's just like everybody's, you say you went to the store and there was no water because people are just like, oh, I'm just, if something happens, I'm just gonna stay in my house the whole, for 2 years. You know what I'm saying?
My friend called me yesterday. She's like, "Do you have your hand sanitizer?" And I'm like, I have the big bottles that I've been having.
Yeah.
She was like, "They're sold out everywhere."
You might be able to get $200 for that bottle.
She's like, the masks are sold out.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is
Man, I've been trying to get a
on?
mask for when it first came out. I knew it was gonna be panicky. And
They're done.
I got a mask that's coming in April, and that was like a month ago.
What?
Yeah, and it's not even N95, and they got some places online where they say, "Oh yeah, we got them." The website was shut up yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
fake websites and stuff like that.
Everything. Yep.
That's crazy.
You're gonna be waiting on this mask.
Yep.
So
Forever.
It's a market, man.
Huh?
It's a market.
Everything's a hustle, man.
Yeah.
Seems like it.
So,
I'm
good.
My next business is gonna be Bedazzled mask.
Bedazzled Corona mask.
Yeah, right.
It's crazy.
Well, good. That's good to hear. Then I like to see stuff like that happen. I don't think she'll ever fail. Just keep going and going.
Yeah.
Same like Mario. I mean, same thing. Myself.
I just think like the more you do, the more you just grow, and your mind gets more creative, more fearless you are. Then you can think on different levels. Like I was talking to this one girl. We were talking about real estate, and she's like, "Why would you want to do real estate, man? Real estate's dangerous. It's scary." And I was like, well, "Why you say that?" She's like, "Well, I was watching Judge Judy the other day, and man, every time I watch Judge Judy, somebody's getting their landlords are trying to get money." I'm like, "That's a TV show. That's a TV show, and it's for entertainment.
Right.
Don't base your reality off of entertainment, Huh?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. But
a lot of it goes well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was saying,
bad.
look around you. That's what people say. Look around you. There's real estate everywhere. We're in a building. Somebody owns it. Those buildings they're not owned by the government. They're owned by actual people.
Right.
So even restaurants, people don't believe that people like yourself own these restaurants. They think that only rich people own these restaurants.
Right.
Well, when you get your restaurant, you open on 1, then 2, then 3, then you will be the rich fat cat that
Right.
you know.
That same
They're
shoe.
like, oh yeah, she was born rich with a silver spoon in her mouth and all this stuff. That's what they think, you know. So
Well, if you guys had to leave the podcast or something, what would that thought be?
I mean, I said it like probably fearless, right? I wouldn't say be fearless, you know, totally fearless. You know, just you know, mimic somebody, get a mentor. You know, somebody that's doing something that you want to do, just do exactly what they're doing. You know, somebody that's just like you, but has more than you. You just do what they do. You'll be in the same spot.
I agree.
Start a business.
Start a business.
That's it.
Whether you fail or succeed,
Correct.
Yeah,
you got to start somewhere.
Start
Yeah.
somewhere.
yeah.
Chelsea, what about you?
I feel like everybody should do whatever it is that they want to do. There should be no limitation. If it's on your heart to do it, you need to do it. On February 10th, I did lose my mother, and she was 49 years old. And after I lost her, I started thinking that she was so young, and there was probably so many things that she wanted to do that she didn't get a chance to because she was too worried about working, getting a degree, her children,
Yeah,
everything
yeah.
except for what she truly wanted. I felt like that was kind of a wake-up call for me, to start really doing the things that I want to do with no limitation. So that's my advice to everybody. Do what it is that you want to do. No matter how hard it may seem, how unrealistic it, try it. If you fail, you fail. That's the worst thing that can happen. You fail.
Yeah.
But what if you don't fail? Or, just do what you want to do. It may not even be to start a business. It may be to travel more. It may be to, eat better, healthier, work out more. Do whatever it is that your mind is wanting or is telling you to do.
I agree, 110%.
Yeah.
I agree with her, and it's kind of the same thought I had. Whatever you're going to do, I think you need to start doing it. A lot of people talk about it and talk about it and talk about it, and then you look up and you're 50, 60 years old, and everybody's heard that uncle say, well, I wish I would have did this, or I should have did this, or I had an opportunity to do this. And the fear that you talk about is what stopped them. The what I call on the whim that he has is what they didn't have, and then her ability to say let's do it and we're just going to do it, we're not going to fail, is what some people don't have. And so we all have that because we all come from different backgrounds. We're all 4 different individuals. So I think that if there's something you have in your head, like she said, just do it, because you'll look up and you'll be old and you won't be able to do it. So
Yep.
I agree.
Amen.
well, good. Well, that's going to end the podcast. I think it was a good one. It's been a long time since we had the podcast. It's been a year and a half.
Wow.
And
well, thank y'all for having me.
yeah, it was a good one. We're gonna do it again next week, I think.
Yeah, we are.
I'll be
And,
back. No, I'm just
Hey, come
We're
on.
gonna have you back.
Yeah, come on. And so that's gonna end the show. You guys have a good one. It's 2020. Act like it is.
Right.
All right, cool.